Okay. Our dear Heavenly Father, we're very grateful that we were able to gather together as a group tonight for our organizational class, and we pray that your Spirit will be with us and that we will be guided in our discussion, that we will be able to have a good discussion on the material from this week. And we pray that those who didn't make it are watched over and guided as well. And we love thee and we say these things in thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Leanne.
You're welcome.
So we're going to summarize the case first, and then we're going to talk about a whole bunch of fun stuff. Yay!
Okay.
Sorry, this is what happens when I have zero sleep, and yeah. So basically, from my perspective, this is a director of the research department. His star analyst for a big project decided to quit at the last second, give no notice. So he's having to figure out who to replace it with: internal hire, external hire, what's going to be best for the company, what's going to make it so that they can still have that client account happen. And so there's really 5 different people. Hold on, I lost my notes. There's really 5 different candidates that they talk about. The one internal, which is Rena Shea. And then the externals, Gerald Baum, David Hughes, Sonia Mitha, and Seth Horkham. And so what we're going to talk about first is the good and bad on each of those 5 candidates.
Okay.
And so, like, for me, the internal hire, she already knows the culture of the company, and the company is very much culture minded. But she's not as versed in the job itself because she was a junior analyst, and so she doesn't have as much experience.
Yeah, one of the things I liked about her being a possibility, like, I wish they would have given her the chance to interview, because she is just kind of thrown into this position, and so she's had to kind of play catch up, but she does know the field somewhat because she was the junior analyst of the guy that left. And so she knows his thought process and how he would want things done. So she's able to do that, but she does know the company and their culture of teamwork. But I really wish they would have given her the chance to interview.
I agree.
Me too. Because all you get to hear about her is just when he went and talked to her.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm looking at these 4 people, and she obviously wants the job.
Right.
Her thought process.
Right, and like, if she had interviewed maybe the other departments, like the sales and stuff, maybe they would have seen her differently other than just a junior analyst. Because I think they were looking negatively at her because she was a junior analyst.
Right.
Yeah, and it seemed, I got the gist that he thought she was doing a fairly good job.
Yeah, right. She was getting the work done.
Yeah, so she was holding her own, at least for now.
Yeah. Keeping things afloat, if nothing else, right?
I wanted them to consider that.
Yeah, exactly. So Gerald Baum, I'm trying to remember which one he was.
He was the very conceited one. He showed up late for the interview.
That's right.
Very conceited about himself and was like, well, you could tell he was looking for like a big compensation package based off of like his talk of money, and just thought he was the greatest thing ever to come to be like a star analyst.
Yeah.
That's right.
Showing up 15 minutes late to the interview, automatically 86 the...
Oh, yeah. Definitely. And like the fact that he didn't apologize or anything, I would have been like, okay, see you later.
Yeah, I'd been like, and your interview's over because it started 15 minutes ago and you weren't here.
Yeah.
It sounds like the 3 of us kind of were raised the same way. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late.
Yep.
And then there was me today with my stinking computer. Yay!
And
I didn't think they should have let Gerald continue to the second round of interviews. I was surprised that he did.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's great at what he does, but I don't think his personality would fit in with the company.
I don't think so either.
And I thought with him, because he was so interested in the compensation package, that
he would have turned into another Peter and just left eventually. Anyway.
Wanting something bigger and better. I agree.
Yeah, used it as a stepping stone no matter who they step on.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so David Hughes was, oh crud, which one was David?
He's the little bit
He's
older,
the older one.
Oh yeah, he's the
like making a
tenured
comeback.
one. Right.
And he seemed to go up and down. Like sometimes he'd be on the ranking list, and like right then he was on the ranking list, but
Yeah,
it took him a while to get back on there.
yeah, and he's like
Right.
trying to make a comeback, but each time he makes a move, it ends up hurting him more than helping him.
Yeah.
Right.
So if that was me, and like I was like so set on a star analyst, and somebody was like, you could see that he was like just slowly like working his way down instead of up, I wouldn't consider him if I was so set on having a star analyst.
Right.
Right.
Agree.
Right.
Like, you can't let age play a part because that's age discrimination and it's against the law.
Yeah.
But I think that plays a part into why he's not considered one of the best out there anymore.
Right.
Because he's been in it
Mostly
so
because
long.
It's a high pace. And
Yeah.
it's so high paced. You have to have the energy to be able to keep up.
Yeah, it's that burnout factor.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so then there was Sonia Misa. She was the one who was at the boutique firm
Yes.
and not stay at home, but mom of two, didn't want to commute that much, didn't want to travel that much.
Yeah.
What else do you remember about her?
I really liked her interview because she asked some really great questions about the company and didn't
Yeah.
start out with what's the compensation, because that says a lot about a person, I think.
And I think even though she didn't want to travel or commute, she still did it when she had to, but she also was able to compensate for it and still make headway in the job she was
Yeah,
doing,
it
regardless.
sounded like she was willing to do whatever it took to make her clients happy. And that was like, whether it's like conference calls or like webcam stuff, like she would do it because she had 2 kids at home. And like, I get that he's worried about the family aspect of it and he wants her to focus. But to me, I thought she was a great candidate.
I did
Yeah.
too.
Well, and
I
even though
recommend they hire her if they weren't going to consider Rena.
Yeah.
Well, and they talk about she came from such a small corporation, so people were like, well, is she going to be able to handle this big firm? And then it talks about how she's already understood the international side of things. She's got the global knowledge.
Yeah. And she was basically running that small firm by herself with very little help. So I'm like, I think she could handle a large firm because she's basically doing everything by herself anyway. I think she could really progress and make a name for herself if given the assistance she needed, which she could get there.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, where she was at now, she had to share everybody. And
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I really liked her.
Okay. And then Seth Corkum, he was the one where his person basically called Mr. Connor out of the blue.
Yes.
Mhm.
So he was kind of an unheard of.
Yeah.
I thought with his attitude, again, he could have turned into another Peter situation.
Yeah. I agree.
I read.
Seemed to be in it for the money and the whole, oh, well, once
Yeah.
you get where you want, you're going to move again, huh?
Yeah, he wants
Yeah.
to make a name for himself, so it's all about him.
I can't remember what happened, but something had just happened, and as soon as that happened, he was looking to make a change. So what's to say, like, he finally gets to that star level, and he's not going to change again.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He had just gotten ranked as like a runner-up or a something or other.
Yeah, like it just happened, and he was already looking to make a move. And I think his explanation was like he'd been there for 15 years or something. But
Right.
still, like, just because you finally made like a little bit of a name for yourself doesn't mean you need to move.
Yeah, if you've been there 15 years, really, why are you leaving?
Yeah,
Seriously.
like that company's been really loyal to you, so
I've worked where I work for 12 and a half years, and people are like, but they don't give you everything you want. And I just got passed up for a promotion again, which bummer, but it happens.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, well, why don't you go to such and such? They're hiring, they'll pay you more, and they'll make you do less. And I looked at them and I was like, okay, first off, they're paying for my college.
Right.
Second off, I get pretty much whatever vacation I want. And third, I'm halfway to a parking space, which sounds like a stupid reason to stay, but it's a parking space. So why would I leave somewhere that takes care of me
Yeah.
just to be the bottom of the barrel again?
It's hard
You know.
starting over.
Yeah. So I'm like, oi. Okay, so I think, I don't want to put words in y'all's mouths, but if I heard you guys correctly, you both kind of, were you both kind of leaning towards Sonia in regards to who to hire?
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, funny thing, me too.
Great.
So we kind of talked about it, the whole thing of she has the capabilities, she has the knowledge, she's able to still balance. What other reasons would we hire her?
I put. She seems to care about the company she works for, and she has ambition to move forward in her career. She was able to put her current company on the global market and comes with a variety of connections, so these would be proven valuable to RSH. And I added the quote from the Speed of Trust book: "A company should trust people to work at home more. Commuting kills so much time and energy that could be spent creating," and that's what she wants to do.
Right.
Work at
That's
home
true.
more and screw the travel time.
Yeah. I talked about looking for somebody that can be a good leader. Have you guys read the book Good to Great by Jim Collins?
Mm-mm.
It's
No.
a fantastic book. I had to read it for one of my classes last semester. Fantastic book. He talks about being a level 5 leader and how what qualifies you to be a level 5 leader. And a lot of the aspects that he talks about, like the will and the humility, I saw in her, because she didn't go in gloating about all the things that she's been done. She gave facts, and the questions that she was asking in the interview about like the company and the requirements and stuff just showed that she's not really to just make a name for herself, but wants to do a good job for the company.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it seemed like there was one of the guys, and I can't remember which, where he was kind of thinking in his head, am I interviewing him or is he interviewing me? Where she was still sort of interviewing him, but only to the fact of, do I fit this company?
Yeah.
Is it going to be a good glove fit?
Yeah. I really like
And
that.
Yeah, and I thought with her wanting to meet all these people in the different departments and stuff right off the bat, and kind of do an interview with them too, I thought showed her desire and want of working for them and wanting to. She's a people person, obviously.
Right.
And it showed the knowledge that she has of the field and how things work, how you have to work with the sales department and all these other departments. Like, you have to work with other people. And she clearly understood that, even though she came from this small firm.
Right. Okay, so the next thing, there's an attachment that they gave to me. And I don't remember always how to share screen, so I'm going to let you know the information that's on there. Is that okay?
If you go to the left,
Mm-hmm.
screen that says screen share, you can click on that.
Oh, you are brilliant. I love Leanne.
I know, right?
I've used this. I've done these so many times. I pretty much know how to do everything in them.
Nice. Okay, I am hiring you to always be my tech person. I will.
Well, as long as it's for Google Hangouts, I got you.
Why does my computer hate me? No. Okay, hold on. We're gonna make this work. It's gotta work.
What kind of attachment is it?
It's. I don't even remember. It opens up in like Explorer.
Okay. So as long as it's like, if you have it in its own window, it's not just another tab, you can share that.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be its own little window because everything else I have is on Google Chrome.
Can you download it as a PDF
I don't know.
and then share it?
Maybe.
You should be able to share it as a browser either way.
Okay. Let me just get. I think it's because I copied some stuff onto a Word doc instead, and so I think I have to go to the actual link. I think the other one is being persnickety. I had this all tested out yesterday. Worked great. Go to the actual real thing. No.
That's how it goes.
Mm.
It's technology for you.
Exactly. Okay. This is what I want. Control click. Hey, I said click. Okay. So we're going to try this share screen thing. Okay, so I'm going to just make it really big. And that's not what I wanted to make big. I want to make this big. Okay, can you guys see that?
No.
Oh, phooey.
Did you click share with everyone?
Oh, you know what? I didn't click it the whole thing. It got partway to where it needed to go, and then I didn't hit share.
There we go.
Okay, can you see that?
There you go.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is basically the information on what the monies would look like. And so they want us to take a few moments and mull over this. And after a few moments, we get to talk about if, after looking at this, if we would change our recommendation on who they should hire.
I'm gonna have to. Can I pull that up myself? Because I can't see it. I'm on my phone. So.
Yeah, so it is, and I'll see if I can make it bigger too. Whoa, made it too big. Hold on. Is that big enough? If you still can't see it, it's just under the week 6
there we
stuff.
go.
Okay. I love my touch screen. I can make everything gigantic.
That's fantastic.
And the hinge on this computer goes all the way around so it becomes completely flat.
Nice.
Which is my saving grace because my children have broken hinges on 2 computers so far.
Oh.
2 computers in 5 years.
Oh.
So what is this now? What is this telling
So
us?
this is telling us for each candidate what their current salary is, what their salary would be if they were the one hired at RSH, and basically comparing it into what Rena's salary is. So like David, who was, oh crud. I can't remember which one David was now, but Gerald, latecomer guy, he was going, okay, so David's the older guy. So David would be 5 times the salary of what they're currently paying Rena. Gerald, the guy who doesn't know how to show up on time, would be 4 times her salary. Seth, the new up-and-comer, jump on everybody's feet, would be 3 times. Sonia would be 2 times, and Rena obviously would just be what hers is because they had already given her the title change, so they gave her the input there.
I think it's interesting though that if they were going to give her this position as like the actual analyst over it, that they wouldn't give her a raise.
Well, I'm presuming that when they changed her, because remember how it said that they changed her to a senior analyst? I'm presuming that they would have changed her salary at least a little bit at that point, but I agree. I think it would be more. Let me know when you guys are good on this, and I'll do the stop sharing. Because I'm kind of taking notes while we talk.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Okay, so shrinky-dink that down again. Make that go away.
I wouldn't hire David or Gerald because they are expensive.
Yeah, seriously. So I still would stick with Sonia.
I do too. The expense of David and Gerald are just too much.
Especially for the problems and baggage they come with.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, I still stick with Sonia because she's not that much more, and to me that just gives her room to grow at the company and to continue to prove herself. They can pay her more as they find necessary.
Right, exactly.
Because I think at one point, and I could be wrong, that Stephen had mentioned worrying about the cost of this, of bringing in a new person.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, the cost monetarily and like the time to catch them up to the culture.
Yeah, so to me, I think catching Sonia up to the culture isn't going to be that difficult, and the cost of her salary isn't as high as Gerald and David, so it's not going to cost that much.
Right. Okay, so the next question is, should Stephen give Rena a permanent offer or hire outside the company? I felt that she should still be, okay, so there's the junior analyst, but I'm sure that there's assistants and other junior analysts. I think she should be kind of like the lead junior analyst, if that makes sense. But I still thought that he should hire outside just because of the experience and the connections that the others could bring.
Yeah, I thought he should hire Sonia, and maybe at the same time, because he convinced Rena to stay. So since she has proven her loyalty to stay, they need to prove that loyalty back to her and give her some greater responsibilities to help her learn and grow. So she's not just stuck in the position that she's in. They need to say, hey, we're going to hire this person, but we're willing to teach you and help you grow by giving you this project or maybe something that's not as demanding so she can learn from it.
Right. Maybe keep her on one of the other semiconductor projects, but maybe not this huge one.
Yeah. And like at one point they mentioned some other projects that they could give her that would be good for her because she doesn't have the experience. And so I was thinking maybe that could be good because I think Sonia could even be a great teacher for Rena.
I agree.
Yep.
Okay. So here's one, and I'm going, really? Is this really a question? It says, should Stephen have let Peter go?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because clearly he knew about Peter leaving because of that Tom guy telling him.
Yeah.
But he didn't do anything to keep him, and so he clearly didn't necessarily want him to stay. And it sounded like they were having a couple of issues with him anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And, next time he's unhappy, he's just going to ask for more money and more money anyway.
And that's exactly why he left, was more money.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay. Should Stephen have talked to the recruiter so the headhunter got Seth, the guy whose person called him? I think he should have.
Yeah, I think he should have called his own headhunter.
I didn't hear the
Then you didn't hear the question?
Uh-uh.
The question is, should Stephen have talked to his own headhunter about Seth?
Oh, yeah, I think so. He could have probably found some stuff out for him.
Exactly.
Because he had very little information to go off of because obviously Seth's headhunter didn't give it to him. And I think his own headhunter could have found more for him to help him know who Seth is.
Yeah, so kind of get a better unbiased view of Seth.
Exactly.
Make sure he'd be a good fit.
Yeah.
Okay. Does the performance at one firm guarantee high performance at another firm? No.
Absolutely not.
As they say on all banking things where you call an investment past, what is that? Like past results do not automatically guarantee same results in the future.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like the company environments are so different, and the people are different that you may do well here, but you may not do well at this new company. For example, we had a girl who was hired May of last year, and she quit November of last year, but she worked for the company 10 years before. But the people had completely changed, and it didn't work out for her. So she didn't do as well. So just to show, like, even in the same company, the environment and the people change over years. So you may not do as well even in the same company years later.
Right.
I agree.
Sorry, my foot's falling asleep. Okay. So the next thing it wants us to talk about is the types of human capital. That little one-page thing that we were supposed to read about, and I'll pull it up here. Hang on one sec. Now that I know how to share my screen because Leanne is awesome, I can do these things. Okay. Share. Yes. Make this big. This thing.
Yes.
I'll make it a little bit bigger. So there's the general human capital, which is basically, I kind of look at it as jack of all trades, master of nothing, but able to bring a lot to the table.
Yeah.
And then there's the strategic human capital. And I've got to read this stuff to remember it because it was like I read it.
Yes.
Okay, so they basically are good at strategy and figuring out how to cut costs without cutting quality.
Right.
Problem solving.
Yeah. Industrial human capital is you're good in I like the example that they give. Somebody who works for the FDA is not really going to be that useful in, I don't know, an engineering firm.
Right.
So they're kind of pigeonholed.
Yeah.
Relationship with human capital is let's see, it says
Getting
moving with
along
other
people.
I think
Good
so. Yeah, so it's like the networking side of everything.
It's a people person.
Yeah. The social side of the world and making sure that the right people are working with the right people. And
right.
then
the company work well with others.
Exactly. And then there's the company specific human capital, which is they're great at this is how this company works. And I actually see this a lot. So right now I am helping teach some of the new hires how to do my job. And I know my job in and out. And some of these others, they know the industry because they've been in insurance before. But when we tell them, okay, this is how this is actually going to work, they kind of look at us and go, no, at X company, this is how we did it, and that's how it's supposed to work. And we're looking at more at the industry level of, no, the Department of Insurance says we have to do X, Y, Z. So they're the company specific. They're great with their actual company, but maybe not the other aspects of it.
Yeah, that's like one of my biggest pet peeves is when people are like, well, at this company, we did it this way. And I'm like, well, you're not at that company now, are you?
Exactly.
That's a procedure and a policy issue, not a federal law.
Right.
Exactly. And like Sonia, I look at her as kind of like the general type of capital and transferability. She's great with the industry, but she's also great at kind of making sure that she can meld. And same thing with Rena. I'm going to always forget this dude's name. The older gentleman.
David, thank you.
That name is just never going to stick in my head. It's just not. So with David, he seemed to me to be more like the industry and a little bit industry and a little bit of company type of.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
Well, like someone at that point in his career is usually pretty set in his ways and doesn't like change. So I would be surprised if he'd be willing to change to the way Art just wanted certain things done.
Right. We have people at my office who've been there longer than me, and they're like, but this is how we've always done it. And they keep getting in trouble because they're using the old processes. And I'm like, do you not realize if we don't use these new tools that make it better,
Yeah.
you're not going to see the benefit of it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
Drives me crazy.
this is how far my company's gone. My company, I own it. I wish. This is how much change has happened. So when I first got there, you guys remember using like the old green IMS screens that it's like the black screen with the green, and you have to do coding and to like bold things. It's like be at blah blah blah. That's how we started when I started there.
Wow.
And now it's all, online computer, internet, connected to the web, connected to their, connected to our website, to their file. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I am so happy. And everybody looks at me and they go, but our letters have issues. I'm like, so you have to type @be at and @e at in everything that you need to do? No. No. So Gerald and Seth, where do we think they fit on this human capital transferability stuff?
Gerald, probably industry. I don't think he would be, like, definitely not relationship.
No.
Not with his underlings not even wanting to come in.
And not even, like, the company. I don't think he would want to try to build relationships with the company and understand their policies and procedures. I think he's too conceited to care.
Yeah.
I think really what he's got going for him is industry.
Yeah. And what about Seth? And I'm going to add something. I think Sonia also has the human side.
Oh, for sure. For sure. She's pretty willing to please her clients and do what it takes and work with people. And I think she asked about the people at RHS. And so that kind of shows that she wants to know them and to kind of understand them. And that says a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm thinking Seth is more of an industry guy.
Yeah, industry. And because he is still up and coming, he's still working his way up, he may be company. He may be willing to work with those procedures.
I agree. Okay, so what are the key concepts that we've kind of gained from this case?
The ability to be a people person and be able to build those relationships and says a lot about a person. Like, I think it was David or Gerald, I can't remember which one, wanted to bring their own people, but they didn't want to come with them.
That was Gerald.
Okay. Because
that was Gerald.
Sounds like a Class A jerk.
Yeah.
It says a lot of, like, that should have been a big red flag for them, for Gerald, is his own people didn't want to come with him.
Yeah.
Like, that says a lot about a person. And the fact that Sonia asked about people and at RHS says a lot. And that can mean a lot when working in a team environment like RHS has.
Right. I agree, because no matter how smart you are, how great you are at your job, most people don't want to work with somebody who's a complete jerk.
Exactly.
Because it makes your job not fun anymore. You don't even want to be there.
It can ruin it for everybody.
Right.
And another thing was, like, just because, for me at least, just because they may not have the credentials, or if they do have the credentials, doesn't mean they're a right fit for your company. Yes, this may be exactly what you're looking for, but you can give a little if you think the person is a better fit for your company. Because I think, to me, that plays a big part more than just the credentials and look at what they've done, look at what they've accomplished. Great, but will they fit with the company?
Yeah, and this company is a team-oriented company, so they definitely want somebody who's going to fit in the culture as much as they want somebody who understands the industry.
Exactly.
I just almost closed everything. That is bad. Because I know, like, obviously all of us have been working long enough that we understand that HR has to look at different things, and there's the metric side and there's the whatever. But I think it kind of goes back to the Army crew rowing team kind of pulls into this, where just because you hit the measurements and the metrics doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be the right thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. That's actually a really good example of teamwork.
Yeah.
Or
I
lack
just love that
thereof,
they
depending on which
wrestled it
team.
out.
And you had to be a
Exactly.
trustworthy person, and I don't feel David was not David, but Gerald was a trustworthy person at all. Especially when he was 15 minutes late from the get-go. David
Yeah.
might have been, but he was just, I don't know. He was
To
too
me,
inconsistent.
Showing up 15 minutes late shows that you don't actually care.
No,
Right.
especially if you're not apologetic. I mean,
Right?
Yeah.
things happen, sometimes things happen that are out of your control, but when you don't even give an explanation of any sort, then it just leaves the other person to think you just don't care.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Any last thoughts or comments?
No?
I think I've said everything.
I think I'm good too. So I'm going to stop the broadcast.